All right, guys, so it's time to predict Cam Akers stats. I know many people were asking, when are you going to do this? Well, I'm finally doing it. So before we get into it, be sure to subscribe, like, and comment. Also, be sure to leave a donation if you'd like to. You can hit that super thanks, and it would really help me out. Anyway, let's get into it. So, Cam Akers going into 2022. Well, we're hoping that he actually is able to play this year. Last year, unfortunately, he suffered a brutal Achilles tear that we've already discussed so many times I won't bore you with, but basically, this is the comeback season for Cam Akers in year 3, coming off a very impressive end to his rookie season in which he was really the most dominant running back in the postseason until the Rams were indeed eliminated in the divisional round against the Packers. He came back all the way right before the Super Bowl and got ready for the playoffs. He wasn't 100%, although he says he was 100% physically. He just didn't seem like he was mentally ready, and that is to be expected. But now he is. He's back. He's been talking about it. You guys know I already posted a video on this, coming in every single day at 8 a.m., getting ready to work, bypassing vacations. So this guy is ready to go. So let's dive into his projections. Cam Akers, we're going to start it off here. Look, I don't think the Rams, and I've been on kind of the belief that the Rams are not going to run the ball as much as most people think, okay? I understand, this is the Rams. They run a more so balanced passing attack, mixed with the run. They did not run a ton last year. So I would expect more of the same, except I think there's going to be even more passing this year. I think the addition of Liam Cohen is going to turn this into a more pass-happy offense, which doesn't entirely take away the effect of Cam Akers, but I do think he's going to be splitting some decent time with Darrell Henderson and even the rookie out of Notre Dame in the 5th round, Kyren Williams. So getting into it, I have him at 175 carries, as you can see in the graphic above. 175 carries. Look, I understand some people are thinking 200. You have to understand he tore his Achilles. I don't necessarily think that they are going to have him on a leash the whole year, but I don't think they're exactly going to just let him off and, off to the races. He's not about to have 400 touches. There's no need for him to have 400 touches in a season. I don't even think he gets to 200 carries. He'll probably get to 200 touches, but I don't see him getting 200 carries. So I have him at 175 here, coming away with 782 rushing yards. I understand some people might think that's a little low, but you have to understand this. I really do believe that this is going to be a pass-happy attack, and I really do believe that they are going to try to really manage Cam Akers' workload to kind of get him to last a little bit longer, not run him into the ground. On top of that, you have Darrell Henderson, who I also think they'll be doing the same thing in his rookie deal coming to an end. And then, of course, Kyren Williams. You also have him as well as Jake Funk, and a guy that I think is going to be utilized a little bit in the run game into Atwell as that gadget. But on top of that, I have Cam Akers at 6 touchdowns. This is somebody that has struggled when it gets close to that red area getting in. He does not have a nose for the end zone, at least through the first 2 years that we've seen him. But I do expect him to work on that. I expect him to finish forward, and I do think he's going to get better this year in a lot of different ways, including as a pass protector, which is my biggest knock on him. So I have him getting 6 touchdowns rushing this season, and that's not including I have 2 fumbles. I do have him fumbling. I think this is somebody that, yes, he has struggled with fumbles, and I think he'll work on that. But typically speaking, a running back is going to fumble at least once a year. I gave 2 in a projection here for Cam Akers. As we dive into the receiving yards, I have 158 on 31 receptions. I have 31 receptions on 40 attempts. Look, I understand that Cam Akers, you've been hearing about him potentially playing some slot. I think he's going to have a role, but I think the guy that they're going to rely on more is the guy that they relied on more in the Super Bowl in the passing game, and that is Darrell Henderson. That is his bread and butter, in my opinion. So I think Cam Akers gets 2 receiving touchdowns this year, coming to a total of 8 total touchdowns, getting just a little bit below the 1,000-yard mark of total yards from scrimmage. And I have him at 153.5 fantasy points, which does come in ahead of Darrell Henderson, who I will be doing a video on down the road soon. But that's what I have for Cam Akers. I think when you look at this at first, you got to temper your expectations when it comes to him. I see too many people saying this guy's going to have 1,200 yards, he's going to have 11 touchdowns, and just kind of predicting in just the realm of that he's going to be Todd Gurley. You have to understand that while Todd Gurley was great, Todd Gurley was also unlike anybody else in the league. He was doing things we hadn't seen, and on top of that, he had a #1 offensive line. They won the Built Tough Ford Offensive Player of the Year award. Don't forget about that. Offensive Line of the Year award. And then on top of that, he didn't really have backups that could really test him. Don't sleep on Darrell Henderson. I really do think that these guys can end up in a 50-50, carry situation, something along those lines, at least touches wise. So I don't see this being a bell cow situation for Cam Akers. He could absolutely prove me wrong, and if he does, I'll be the first to admit it. But I still think you come away with 782 yards on 175, carries, 6 touchdowns, coming away with 8 total on the season. You add some yards in the receiving game, you add some presence in the receiving game, and I think that's a good turnaround year for Cam Akers, somebody that's coming off an injury that really is hard to come back from, and really the only recent example of somebody coming off that injury is Marlon Mack, and we haven't seen him do much of anything, although he's going to get a significant opportunity over in Houston. We haven't seen that. So this is relatively new. I don't know what to expect when it comes to Cam Akers outside of the lines of this. I think this is probably the best case scenario as far as, what you're looking at with him sharing time with Darrell. If Darrell Henderson does go down or Kyren Williams does go down, I could see them going out and getting another running back, but I would also imagine they probably just roll with Cam Akers. And if that's the case, then it's going to change his statistical output. But I do expect Darrell Henderson to be utilized correctly, Cam Akers to be utilized, and Kyren Williams in a very pass-happy attack that doesn't see too many opportunities running the football. And so for that reason, 175 carries in this offense is quite a decent amount. And I do have Cam Akers in what I believe would be a very solid year, not a year that's going to bring you into the Pro Bowl, but a year that's good enough that you could look at and be like, he was a key piece to getting the Rams back to the Super Bowl. So ultimately, there's going to be people that are disappointed, and I get that. But you have to understand that I'm trying to be as realistic as possible in my setting, thinking that, this is going to be a big year for guys like Cooper Kupp and Allen Robinson. And I think their, opportunities and their workload is going to be very heavy in this passing attack, which I can't stress enough. I do believe it's going to be very pass happy. Because of that, I do think that a lot of the running game is going to be, it's going to have tempered expectations the rest of the way. But again, I could be wrong. Let me know what you guys think below. That's going to do it for this video. I appreciate you guys tuning in. This has been Cam Akers 2022 stat projection video. And, well, I'm hoping it goes way better than it did last year. We'll just say that. That's going to do it for me. You guys take care, and I'll see you guys soon. Later.